What remains if I let go of the identity I've built my whole life around? What's in that question is the identity that you've built is tied up in the egoic mind, in that framework of who you think you are, right? And with those values, the framework of the self-seeking mind, it has values. Its value always is based on, basically, hierarchy, status, outcome gives me self-worth. My self-worth is tied to who the world says I am, how I compare to others. So if I'm bigger, faster, stronger, have more, have done more, and so on and so forth, therefore you are more. That's the identity of this question. So what really has to happen here is that has to be seen for what it is. That identity has to be seen for what it is. The falseness of that, or the fact that it's the framework of the self-seeking mind, that it's not reality, it's not truth. But it appears to be true, and it is your reality when you're completely enmeshed within it, when you're so close to it, when you can't see it, when there's no objective view, and you can't see it, that is your reality. And then it feels like to let that go is to let go of everything which you've valued. Why would you do that? That would seem ridiculous. And then you see somebody else who's completely identified with that, who's completely congruent with that egoic mind, and they know where they're going, and they know what they're doing, and they know what they want to achieve. And then there you are, fighting with this and trying to let it go, and appearing to the outside world to be not doing as well. And your whole identity was tied up in that, of becoming somebody, of being somebody, and now you're going to let that go. You see, so it's the transition stage is hard because of that. But as you see it more and more for what it is, it then has less power over you. And the truth is, that identity gives birth to emptiness. It's hollow. It has no value anymore. That's why you're questioning its values. That's why you're questioning its identity. Because you're starting to see through it. You're starting to experience the meaninglessness of it. And then in this, you start to have a shift across as you transition into your new values, which are born of what I would call your true self, your own being, which sits beneath all of it. The being which is aware of the self-seeking mind. So if we read it again, what remains if I let go of the identity I've built my whole life? Well, what remains is your true self. And the true self has its own values. It has its own desires. But they're not born of trying to become somebody. trying to find self-worth in the outside world. So it doesn't come from emptiness. So what remains is your values. That's what remains, your values, your true values. And then they will express themselves in the outside world. So whatever that is. Me, I create sculpture, right? I love it for its own sake. I love sculpture. That's one of my values. I love art. I love sculpture. I love to create figures. I love to work with my hands. Not to become somebody, not in the pursuit of something, not to try and find my self-worth in it. So what remains are my values. This is what I love. And then you start to value your own presence. You start to value life itself for itself. You start to value all which is true to you. So that's what remains. And it's a natural growth, right? You're outgrowing your identity. You're outgrowing the self-seeking mind as you shift and you reorientate your values to yourself, to your true self, which your intuition runs through, which your own knowing runs through. So that's what remains. And that's where you'll find a quality of life. That's where you'll find fulfillment, in the alignment to that. So if you were to put it in one word, what remains, you would say the alignment to your true values in expression, and through this, fulfillment and joy and natural enthusiasm for it. That which you enjoy, that which you're enthusiastic for. Why? Just because. Because you love it. Because you value it. Because it's something which you love. That's it. So, fulfillment, joy. It's not a promise. This is not something that you're exchanging one for the other and doesn't become another ego pursuit. I'm just saying, when you allow that one to go, this is what then remains.